In some ways, in many Western societies, our culture has become a throwaway culture. We take resources from the environment, we turn them into consumer goods, we use them, and then they get disposed of either to landfill and buried in the ground. Some of it goes up into the atmosphere via an incinerator, and some of it goes into the ocean. And the pictures we've seen of plastics drifting in the sea is a reminder that actually there is no way. And so that idea of a throwaway society really is completely misleading, because all we're doing is not throwing anything away. It comes back to haunt us in so many different ways. Some of it is coming back as toxic waste, which is helping to shorten people's lives. Some of it is destroying tourism industries through washing up on beaches in the form of waste. It blights people's neighborhoods in terms of smells. And of course, it is depleting natural resources in a way which in the end will lead to threats to human security. So the idea of throwing things away couldn't be more wrong. The different materials that we're consuming, of course, it's very variable in terms of what we're wasting. Petrochemicals being turned into plastics has one remedy, i.e. don't use it. That's the quickest way to being able to deal with that problem. Other waste materials, including irremovable food waste in the forms of peelings and bones and food that's gone off, can be turned into compost. And so that's a very good way in which we can help to recover the health of soils through retaining some of those nutrients and organic materials that can find a good route into something useful after we've used them. Other materials that we waste, metals, many of them can be recycled. Again, better not to use them in the first place if you can find a way to do that. Wood can be used creatively in all sorts of different ways to make new products rather than burning it or throwing it into landfill. In the end, however, it is a cultural thing, and culture shifts through some pretty familiar routes of influence. One is by watching what other people do. And this again is where we can all have some influence by taking personal responsibility for our waste. Try and get your waste slimmed right down, and people will begin to notice the way in which you're leading a different life, a life with less clutter, less expensive, and less complicated. There's nothing bad about reducing waste. In fact, it's upsides in pretty much every way you can think about it. And then you can be thinking about what you might say to companies that are encouraging people to buy unnecessary rubbish. Most of the landfill and the stuff going into incinerators, it has a pretty short life. It's being put there deliberately by companies that are marketing products that people really don't need. Maybe give them a bit of feedback, even if you have a trusted brand that you do like. Maybe ask them to think about things that they're marketing that they really shouldn't be if they're concerned about sustainability in the future. And then again, our politicians can always play an important role in designing policies and laws that will take us towards the idea of a circular economy. The linear economy that we're in now, where we extract, we make, we use, and we dispose, needs to be replaced with a circular economy whereby that extract and dispose part are reconnected, so that everything we're disposing of is being reused in the supply of new products into the future. Politicians can do a lot to make this happen. They can be charging tax regimes around landfill, for example, and they can also be making laws to ensure product producer responsibility. So if I'm a car manufacturer or make a computer, laws that I take that back when the consumer's finished using it and have to dispose of those materials is a very powerful way of getting people's attention to design that in the future will be deliberately geared up to being circular rather than linear. So we're all in this. It's a cultural thing at one level, it's a technological thing at another level. But if we're going to fix it, we have to get rid of the idea that there is an away. There isn't.